All right, boys and girls, I am back again to share some of my favorite books with you all. Um, and I kind of had told you that my books would relate to the seasons of Thanksgiving or Christmas or even past season of Halloween or fall. But I'm going to try to stick with that, but I don't think that I will be able to do that entirely. But I am going to share a book today. I'm going to share two books tonight. Um, Two of my favorite books. Both of them that I just recently purchased. I am a collector of books. I like to go and shop for books. I like to buy my children their own books. I like to give books away as gifts. I just think books are really important. I think reading is really important. It gives us a chance to sometimes escape our realities, especially in this time of uncertainty. So anyway, I want to share two books with you tonight. Okay, the first book is called The Ugly Pumpkin. All right. And so you may be thinking of another book that you may have read called The Ugly Duckling. And there may be a similar theme to this compared to that book. The Ugly Pumpkin. I am the ugly pumpkin, as you can plainly see. Of 100,000 pumpkins, none are quite like me. So we can definitely tell that this little pumpkin looks very different than the other pumpkins. Since early in October, I've been waiting to get picked, but each time things start looking up, I end up getting tricked. So, this kind of borderlines a little bit Halloween. And when he thinks he's going to get picked, probably at the pumpkin patch, he always gets tricked. They always end up picking somebody else instead of him or her. Might be a girl. A skeleton came for pumpkins one bright and crispy day. I asked if I could get a ride. He laughed and said no way. That wasn't very nice. And when I said it's getting late and I don't have a home, he rolled his eyes and said goodbye and left me all alone. You can see him there in the rear view mirror. So I walked into November, which we just walked into November, where I happened on some trees. I asked if I could stay a while, and this time I said please. The trees all started smiling, and then one finally spoke. Take off your boots and spread your roots. Another cruel joke. I am the ugly pumpkin, I shouted to the sky. And then it started raining, so I began to cry. I took shelter in a garden that was overrun with squash. I noticed something very odd, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I am a squash. So he actually wasn't a pumpkin. He was a squash. At last it was Thanksgiving, and I found where I fit in. Now you know my story, so let the feast begin. Happy Thanksgiving. So this kind of bridges our two holidays of Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving and Halloween. So he finally discovers who he actually was. He wasn't a pumpkin. Just like in the Ugly Duckling story that you may have read, uh, the duck was actually a swan. They weren't an ugly duckling. They were a swan. So that's one of my new favorite books that I just picked up this year. My second book is not related to um, the seasons. It's just a good book that I like. It's called Looking for Smile. And that's one of the things I like to look for when I see kids in the hallways is I like to, and faculty and staff, is I like to look for smiles um, because smiles are a sign of happiness. And so we're going to read this book. Bear and Smile were always together. So no matter where Bear is at, he always has Smile with him. In the mornings, Bear woke up and stretched out wide across his bed. Smile woke up too and stretched out wide across Bear's face. Good morning, Bear said. Bear and Smile liked all the same things. Bear liked nuts and berries best for breakfast. That's what Smile liked best too. They shared them together perfectly. Together they went to the most wonderful places. Waterfall, cried Bear, jumping in. So they love going to the waterfall. They love going to the forest. It took Smile a few minutes to catch up, longer if the water was extra cold. But then they splashed together for hours. So maybe when you get in the pool and it's kind of cold, you're not super excited about it. You may not have a smile on your face, but you eventually warm up and have a good time. Bear and Smile loved adventures as long as they weren't too scary. They would do almost anything for honey, though Smile usually waited until the bees were out of sight. So bears eat honey, and but we also know that bees make honey, and it's not a good idea to bother the bees. You might get stung. Always together, Bear and Smile. So up until this point, the bear is always smiling. Then one morning, Smile didn't come. Smile, Bear called. It's time to wake up. He waited. Smile, he called. It's time for breakfast. Maybe some days you woke up and you've not had a smile on your face. But Smile didn't come for breakfast, and Bear noticed that nuts and berries didn't taste as good without his friend. Bear looked under the bed. He looked in the closet. He opened the door. Smile, he called. Where are you? Hello, Bear, said Rabbit. What's the matter? You look different. I lost Smile, said Bear. Oh, dear, said Rabbit. Did you look in your favorite places? Oh, so, said Bear. That's a good thinking. He ran right to the waterfall. Smile, he called. It's me, Bear. He jumped in. He splashed the way Smile liked best, but Smile didn't come to splash. It's not smiling. Bear looked up. He looked down. He looked inside. He looked outside. I know, said Bear at last. Smile always wants honey. Bear got a pawful. He sat beneath the tree and ate, but Smile didn't come to take a bite. Bear sighed. The day was gray. The wood seemed empty. What's wrong? Bear asked a voice. It was Bird. I lost Smile, said Bird. Oh, poor Bear, said Bird. And she sat down right next to her friend. The two sat, not saying a word. Then Bird began to sing quietly, and Bear began to hum. Together they sang and hummed and looked out at the swirling leaves. Then Bear felt something deep inside him. It rose and rose, and suddenly there was Smile. Hello, said Bear. I missed you, And what did Smile do then? Smile smiled. So this is a good book. Most of the time we try to smile, but there are times that we don't feel very happy. Maybe because we don't get to see our friends, or we have to do chores, or um, a variety of things can make us not want to smile. But we should always try to find a reason to smile. There's always a reason out there to smile. Hope you enjoyed my books. Look forward to sharing another couple books with you tomorrow. Have a good night.